So, what if the single biggest thing holding you back from real success has nothing to do with your talent, your education, or where you came from? Today, we are unpacking a really powerful blueprint from the legendary Zig Ziglar, and it reveals the one thing you can change, starting right now, to completely transform your life.
And this quote right here, this is the key to everything. Ziglar's whole philosophy is actually pretty simple. Your outer world is just a mirror of your inner world. But here's the powerful part. You are in control of the input. The power to change isn't somewhere out there. Nope, it's right between your ears.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, another motivational platitude. But let me tell you who this is coming from. This isn't some guy who was born with a silver spoon. At 45 years old, after decades of working, Zig Ziglar was, in his own words, stone broke. His incredible success story wasn't about luck. It was built on the exact principles we're about to dive into. Okay, so let's jump into a really powerful exercise that Ziglar used with his audiences. We're going to build from the ground up a blueprint for the perfect person. You know, the kind of person you would bet your entire career on. Just think about it for a second. If you could build the perfect employee, the perfect business partner, completely from scratch, what's the very first quality that pops into your head? Let's start making a list.
All right, first things first, ambition, definitely. You got to have that drive. Consistency, that's key. And of course, a positive mental attitude is a must. Let's keep them coming.
What's next? You'd want someone with enthusiasm for sure. Honesty, absolutely non-negotiable. And they have to be self-motivated, right? Yeah, this list is looking pretty good.
What else we got? Integrity, no question. They've got to be teachable, open to learning, and that deep, burning desire to succeed, that's a big one. And let's round it out here. A self-starter, someone who just gets going, a hard worker, and of course, someone you can absolutely depend on. Perfect.
So here it is, our final list. Take a good look at it. This is basically the blueprint for a winner. But here's the million-dollar question. What do all of these qualities actually have in common? The answer to that? Well, that's the key to everything. Okay, this is where the magic happens. Ziglar called this the great attitude reveal, and trust me, it's about to change how you see this entire list. I want you to look at that list one more time. Are these qualities things you're born with, like being tall, or are they technical skills you learn in a class, like coding, or do they all fall into another category entirely? Let's just go down the list one by one. Ambition, that's an attitude. Consistency, that's an attitude too. Honesty, being teachable, having a strong work ethic, attitude, attitude, attitude. As you go down this list, an incredible pattern starts to show up. In Ziglar's full exercise, the audience came up with 37 qualities in total, and the result is, it's just staggering. 97% of them were not about skill or talent. They were about attitude. This is the big takeaway. What truly separates the best from the rest isn't what you know, it's who you are. So this immediately brings up a huge question. If attitude is the single most important factor for success, why don't schools have like a mandatory Attitude 101 class? Why aren't we formally taught how to develop these qualities?
Well, it's really easy to point the finger at the education system, but the math tells a very different story. A kid spends about 1,200 hours a year in school, but at home, over 7,500 hours. It's not even close. The primary influence is right there at home.
Ziglar had a really simple way of putting it. He'd say, when you point one finger of blame at someone else, you've got 3 more fingers pointing right back at yourself. The responsibility for building these attitudes, it starts long before school ever does.
And this is why that home environment is so unbelievably critical. Just look at this. By age 5, 80% of our character is already formed. The foundation is set in those super early years. Now that might sound a little discouraging, like the concrete's already hardened. But here is the most hopeful part of Ziglar's entire message. You can always rebuild.
So, let's get to the final and most empowering part of all this. This is where the message really hits home, and it kind of flips this whole exercise right on its head. And here it is, the final, most powerful reveal of all. That dream person we designed, that perfect person on paper, that's not some impossible ideal. That's you. Every single one of those qualities is already inside of you. They might be asleep, they might be a little weak, but they are there. Your job isn't to go out and find them, it's to develop them. So look at this list one last time, but with totally new eyes. This isn't a shopping list of things you need to go get. It's a mirror of who you already are. The very fact that you're here, watching this, proves you have ambition. It proves you're teachable. It proves you have desire. The seeds are already planted. All you have to do now is water them. And this is the sequence of success. It's so simple. You can't just have the things you want. First, you have to become the kind of person who is capable of doing what it takes. Then, you have to actually do those actions, consistently. Only then can you have the results you're looking for. It all starts with who you decide to be.
So the final question isn't what do you lack? The real question is what will you develop? Look at that list one last time and just pick one. Which quality are you going to start feeding your mind with starting today? Because like we learned from the very beginning, when you change what goes into your mind, you change your entire world.